Good morning, everybody. We'll begin today's session. This is the first question. Four students, P, Q, R, and S, are shown a box which contains few white balls and few red balls. Their teacher asked them individually to make a statement. Teacher knows that exactly one of them is a liar, one is a liar, right? Others are not. From the statements that they make, the teacher is able to find who the liar is. Given below are the statements made by the students. You have to identify who is the liar. Okay? You have to identify who is the liar. Only one person is a liar of the four of them. So P says there are equal number of red balls and white balls. Q says P is liar. There are three red balls and two white balls. R says Q is not a liar and there are some red balls and some white balls. And S says R is not a liar. If you look at the statements of Q, R, and S are actually quite well connected. Q says three red balls and two white balls. R says Q is not a liar and there are some red balls and some white balls. And S says R is not a liar. If Q, R, and S are true, P is definitely a liar. So the correct answer is A. P is a liar. Okay. We'll move to the next one. A solid is drilled using a cylindrical drill in a direction as shown below. How many surfaces will the solid have after the drilling is complete? We are giving here a solid with two cavities inside. And then after these cavities are there, there are also one cavity, which is a cylindrical drill that is drilled through this cube. We have to identify after the drilling is done, how many surfaces will the solid have. Now, the cylindrical drill will move through the solid in this direction and will cut a cylindrical hole, which may look similar to this. In this case, actually it will look exactly like this. Let me just draw it clearly. Like this, okay? Where a cut will be formed, but this part won't be broken into two cylinders, but three cylinders with two cylinders. Now, here, the cube will have six surfaces plus one and two cavities that are there. There will be a cylindrical hole here, and then there will be another cylindrical hole here. Here, there won't be a cylindrical hole which will cut it into three parts. Like I said, it will be two parts only. So, the number of surfaces thus generated will be 10. Okay, we'll move to the next one. The figure below shows a hinge structure made up of 12 sticks. The structure can be elongated and compressed by changing the angle ABR. ABR's current angle is 90 degrees as shown in the figure. The distance between, in the current situation when this angle is 90 degree, the distance between B and Q is given, which is 150 root 6. What will this distance, new distance B and Q be when the angle ABR changes to 60 degree instead of 90 degree? Okay. So this is more like those snake toys that we used to have with this hinge structure where the stick's dimension don't change, but the length changes depending on the angle that is there here. Okay. So this can be elongated. This can also be compressed back. Now, in the current situation when the ABR angle is 90 degree, the length BQ is 150 root 6. If I divide that BQ length in order to find the BE length is actually 1/5 of total length of BQ because it divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 modules. So 150 root 6 divided by 5, which is 30 root 6, is the size of BE. Okay. So in the current situation, when this angle is 45 degree, if I were to make this triangle X, D and B, this angle will be 45, which is half of 90 degree. Okay, as if this total is 90, so this will be 45 and 45. This is a 90 degree angle. Now here we have to find BD. That's why this is crucial. Okay. I assume this to be x. Bx I already know, which is half of 30 root 6, which is 15 root 6. So here I will use the formula of cos 45. So cos 45 is equal to bx upon bd. So cos 45 value is 1 upon root 2. Bx is 15 root 6 and BD is what we have to find because we don't know the stick length. So by solving this, BD will be equal to 30 root 3. So I found out that this is 30 root 3. In the new condition, when that angle becomes 60 degree, ABR becomes 60 degree, this angle becomes 30 degree. This is the same triangle BD and X dash when the angle changes, okay? So I now in this condition, I know BD, which is 30 root 3. BX I have to find in the new condition, so this I will assume as A. Now, so we again use the cos formula, cosine of root of 30 is equal to bx dash upon bd. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2 is equal to bx dash, or bx dash I have already assumed to be a, so let me write a upon bd, which is 30 root 3. Okay, so a ka value in that case will be 45. I have found this value of nu x, which is 45, bx dash, which is 45. So therefore, I know bx dash into 10 is equal to the new length bq. So new length bq will be equal to 10 into 45 because 10 modules of bx will be equal to total bq. So therefore, answer is 450. 45 into 10, 450. Okay. We'll move to the next one. In a new form of decimal system, the numbers 0 to 9 are represented by a new set of symbols. These are the symbols given. For example, the equation 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 is represented by the equation 1. So this is 1, 4, and this is 5. If in the solution of equation 5, one digit appears twice, what number will replace the question mark? Okay. So we know the value of what symbol is 1, what symbol is 4, and what symbol is 5. For that, based on that, I can write this next equation as 4 plus some number is equal to a single digit number. Okay. So 4 plus 5 is not possible because 5 is represented by this number. 4 plus 4 is also not possible because this is not 4. This is not a denotation for 4. 4 plus 3 is the next assumption where I can get 4 plus 3 as 7, which is a single digit number, which works. No problem. We cannot go 4 plus 6 because that is a double digit number and here we are given a single digit. Okay. So we keep it like that. It can be 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. It can be 4 plus 1 is equal to 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 is not possible because that's already here. But 4 plus 2 is equal to 6 is also possible. But we start with the assumption that, okay, let it be 4 plus 3 is equal to 7 for now. Now, based on this, the next equation will be, we don't know a two-digit number. A two-digit number subtracted by a one-digit number is equal to 14. So a two-digit number minus one-digit number is equal to 14. Now, in order to get 14, and that to subtract it with single digit number, it has to be subtracted from 20 because 30 minus single digit number cannot be 14. So 20 minus a single digit number. So 20 minus single digit number, which is 6, is equal to 14 works. So this is 6. This is 2, this is 0, this is 1 and 4 already established. And in this case, this is 7, 3 and 4. Now, for the next equation question that is given here. However, so far we know the numbers from 0 to 7. We know 0, we know 1, we know 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We don't know what is 8 and 9, okay? We'll just write the numbers first. So the next equation is given by, 3, 1, 3 plus some number, 6 is equal to what? This can be two possibilities for this, okay? So one possibility is 313 plus 86 and another possibility is 313 plus 96 is equal to. So when I add 313 plus 86, I get 399. 313 plus 96, I get 409. In this case, we will use the condition that is given here if in the solution to equation 4, one digit appears twice. So that is happening in only this case where 313 plus 86 is 399. So the correct answer is 3, 9 and 9. Okay, we'll move to the next one. What is the area of the black portion of the square is of length 16 centimeters? We're given here a square of 16 by 16. We have to identify the area of the black part. Okay. In this case, if I divide the square into four quadrants, you will identify that area of all the four parts which I have drawn here are the same because they are bisecting. So in this case, all we have to find a correlationship of this one black module. This is a black module, okay, that is given to you. Now, how do I correlate with this black module with this white module? If I draw this kind of a situation like this, where I place this triangle above here beside it like this, area of this and the area of this white is the same. Okay. So what it means is a quarter of the circle. The quarter of the circle is made up of 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts. All right. Using that, we'll find the area of one black part. What is the area of one black part? So area of one black part is equal to area of the square, which is 16 by 16. A quarter of it, because we are using only 1/4 of the square right now. 4 multiply by 1 by 4. Why? Because we found that 1/4 of it is made up of 1, 2, 3, and 4 identical parts. That's why we'll get the value area, rather value of one part, which is this, or which can be given by this also. So by that, area of one part comes out to be 16. So total black part is equal to, there are how many black parts? There are total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 black parts. So 6 into area of one black part is 16. That comes to a total of 96. Okay, we'll move to the next one. The figure below shows two concentric equilateral triangles with a circle within, such that this circle touches all the edges of the triangle. If the radius of the circle is √3, radius of the circle is given to us, which is √3. What is the total length of the star-shaped outer border formed by the two intersecting triangles? We have to find the area, this area. This is the star-shaped outer border. We have to find this area. Okay. Now, in this case, we'll take this much part. We'll take this triangle. This triangle and the upper triangle, they both are the same. We know that this vertical that I have drawn here is the radius of the circle. The dimension is √3. So in this triangle, this angle that I'm talking about will be 60 degree. This is 60 degree. This is √3. What I need is this edge dimension. If I get this edge dimension, this is equal to one side. So this x. So what I will use is here the formula of sine 60. Sine 60 is equal to opposite, which is the radius, upon the hypotenuse, which is the value of the side of the triangle. Sine 60 is √3 upon 2. So x ka value, which is the side of the one side of the triangle, smaller triangle, is 2. So total length that we have to find will be, there are 12 such modules. This is 2 is what we have found. So all of this will be 2. So the length that we have to find is 12. There are 12 such modules, and each module of 2 units. That makes a total of 24 length, which is the outer star shape that is formed by the intersecting triangles. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Except for one, all the 4-digit number given below are written using a single font. You have to identify the number that does not use the same font as the other numbers. Which of this number does not use the same font as the other numbers? Okay. So in this case, you just have to compare the digits at the end of the day. There's one particular thing which stands out is this number 9. If you compare this 9 versus this 9 or this 9, it's different. So the number that is different is 1190. All right, we'll move to the next one. A bag contains 20 socks, of which 10 are white, 10 are black. If the socks are drawn without replacement, which of the options is or are true? Okay. If one sock is drawn at random, the chances that it is white is 50%. Okay, one or more options is correct here, so we'll go option by option. So A says if a sock is drawn at random, chances of it being white is 50%. The total white socks we know 10, total socks 20. So, and then if I convert it to percentage, it will be 50%. So option A is correct, no problem. Option B, if two socks are drawn at random, the chances of both of them of the same color is 50. So B says first draw you have 10 white socks and 20 total. When I come to the next draw, I will be left with 9 white socks, assuming one goes down, and then 19 total socks. And then, of course, you convert it to percent. This will be approximately equal to 23.6%. So no, B is wrong. It won't be 50%. If 3 socks are drawn at random, the chances that at least 2 of them are of the same color is higher than if 2 socks are drawn at random. So for option C, if I'm drawing 3 socks and chances of at least 2 of them being the same color, the pairs may look something like this: white, black, black, or black, white, white, or white, black, white, or any other combination. But in either of the cases, you will get at least 2 color socks. So the chances of at least 2 of them being of the same color is 100%. So C is correct because it's higher than 50% of when I draw 2 socks. All right. D says if 4 socks are drawn at random, the chances of at least 2 of them will be of the same color is higher than if only 3 socks are drawn at random. So in this case, like it's the same case with the C option. When I draw 4 socks at random, the combinations may look something like this. Okay, or maybe BWW, where I get 4 white, 3 white, and 1 black, or any other possibility. But in either of the cases, at least 2 of them are of the same color. Okay, more than 2, but at least 2 are there. So here also, the percentage that we are looking at will be 100%, because in any draw, you will get at least 2 of them of the same color. So D is wrong because it is equal. It is equal to when 3 socks are drawn at random. Both C and D are equal. So correct answer is A and C here. Okay. We'll move to the next one. In the figure below, a person is putting small packets of potatoes in one of the bins A, B, or C. These packets are placed on a table, and the bins A, B, and C are placed on tables which are lower in height as compared to the table on which the packets rest. Which of the following statements is or are true? Okay. So A says lifting the bag from the table and placing it in bin B is less effortful compared to lifting and placing it in bin C. No, in this case, A is wrong because C is right beside the person. So even if the person lifts and places it, lifting and placing it in C is far less effortful compared to B. So A is wrong. B says lifting the bag from the table and placing it in bin A is more effortful compared to sliding it in bin C. That is true because sliding it is less effortful because C is right beside it. Option C says lifting the bag from the table and placing it in bin B is less effortful compared to sliding the bag and lifting it in C. In this case, of course, the last option, sliding it in bin C, is less effortful, so C is wrong. Sliding the bag from the table to bin C is less effortful compared to lifting it, placing it in bin C. So D is correct. Sliding is less effortful compared to you lift and then you place it inside. So correct answer here is B and D. Okay, we'll move to the next one. In a town, there are 4 kinds of person: misrabs, frets, dictions, and scripts. Okay, people of any given kind can play exactly 2 instruments. People of any given kind can play exactly 2 instruments. An instrument is played by exactly 2 kinds. Some misrabs play tabla, some frets play sitar. The kind that plays harmonium does not play sarod. The kind that plays tabla does not play sitar. Misrabs and dictions do not play the same instruments. Frets and scripts do not play the same instrument. Dictions do not play harmonium. Okay, based on this, which are the following statements is or are true? One or more options is correct. So this is misrab. This is frets, diction, scripts. An instrument is played by 2 kinds, and people of any kind play 2 instruments. Okay. So if it is tabla, tabla will be played by 2 kinds, and misrab will have at least, misrab, frets, or diction will have at least 2 instruments under them. Okay. Some misrab play tabla, so tabla will come here. Some frets play sitar, sitar will come here. The kind that play harmonium does not play sarod. Harmonium and sarod do not go together. And the kind that play tabla do not play sitar. Okay. Misrab and diction do not play the same instrument. Misrab and diction do not play the same instrument, and fret and script do not play the same instrument. We know misrab plays sitar, yeah, and also diction do not play harmonium. Diction does not play harmonium, which means diction play sarod. Harmonium, uh, also diction and misrab do not play the same instrument. Okay, that is also given. So, diction do not play harmonium, which means misrab play harmonium, and misrab plays tabla and harmonium, which means diction will play sarod and sitar. Now, next we have frets. Frets play sitar. So, frets and scripts, they do not play the same instrument. So, frets will play sarod, and scripts will have tabla and harmonium. Okay, now let's look at the option. Frets do not play tabla, which is true. Scripts play tabla, which is true. Misrabs play harmonium, also true. And dictions play sitar, also true. So in this case, all the options A, B, C, and D are correct here. All right. With this, I will end today's session here. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you.